Judges 16. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her.
Here it is. Then the Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and brought him down to where? Gaza, where he was bound with bronze shackles and forced to grind grain in the prison. It is in Gaza where his hair began to grow back. Here we go, the story of Samson throughout the years and illustrated. We've got the 1861 picture of Samson. We have the 1925 illustration, Samson at the pillars when he's going to kill 3,000 people. Mother stories from the Old Testament. A book of the best stories from the Old Testament that mothers can tell their children. A book of the best stories from the Old Testament that mothers can tell their children. 1908. Here we are. The stories we taught our children. Now this was my favorite. Victor Mature, Hedy Lamarr playing Delilah. And yet if we'll look at this picture, this movie poster, what is being imaged and glorified is the end of Samson's life when he committed suicide and brought destruction and death upon 3,000 men, women, and children. It is what is called collective punishment. In other words, people had nothing to do with the crimes that were committed against Israel. It's random, it's killing, it's collective punishment, cleansing. It's being taught to children in every way possible. And of course, in order to do this, you got to make the people look completely deserving of this. Okay? And get it into the mind. These people deserve this. And Samson was not a good guy. Just Googled this, Samson in Gaza. Samson in Gaza. And here is Samson going into Gaza and causing quite a disturbance. What if a Christian succeeded in converting someone from Gaza to Christianity, and they sit them down at night and teach their children the new beliefs? Now they're trying to be good Christians, but we have to teach them the Bible to stay good Christians. And all of a sudden we sit them down and tell them a story of a man who committed suicide to take out 3,000 other people. But what is the look on these faces throughout the years when they took these Bibles and illustrated them for little children? Here they are. Okay, these are the different expressions, the looks, the reactions of people that are illustrated in children's Bible stories throughout the years. So we have the 1839. This, you can see what's happening here to these people, mostly women. In 1883, we've got a baby over here being killed within this suicide of Samson. And if you'll go through church history, guess what? You've got St. Augustine saying, well, Samson's suicide was the only suicide that God forgave. Oh, how much we owe early church fathers. But anyway, we're back here Then we see the expressions. Samson's leg is here in the 1892. And look at this. That's a young child. There's the desperate looks, kind of like the ones of the people around the Gaza hospital. Here we are. 1953, look at the desperate look of the lady. It doesn't matter. 1957, all these rocks and things collapsing down on innocent people. This is an illustration of corporate cleansing. It is collective punishment. Collective punishment. This is what collective punishment looks like. This is how they try to illustrate it. And now we have the 1960 illustration. See these gals? They don't look evil. This is the point of this article. If you're going to tell a child's story, you have to make the enemy, the Philistines, look really bad in their eyes, or the story's not going to really work. And so you really have to portray these people right here are really bad, and they're bad enough for God to give Samson the strength to kill them, so that he says, let me die here with these Philistines. That Israel was named Palestine by the Romans in 70 AD after they destroyed Jerusalem, and in order to antagonize them, they decided to name it after their enemies, Philistines, in which the Roman name is Palestinians. So here we are, and then we're looking at this illustration, 1958, the year I was born. And look at the lady. This stuff collapsing down on them. Once again, you bring someone from Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, wherever it may be, you brought them to Christ, you're now discipling them out of Islam into Christianity. And so in order to do this, you have to teach them the Bible. And one of the stories you start to tell them is about Samson and how he committed suicide and killed 3,000 Palestinians in Gaza. This is crazy. And so look at the look on these faces in 1961. Oh my God. Look. Does this look like bad people getting killed? Look at this. 1971. Does this look like bad people getting killed? Look at how frightful they are. They just look like innocent women and children and young people. Even the boy leads Samson up to the pillars. Remember, it's a young lad. What happened to him? Oh, he got killed too in the name of the Lord. 1984, 1995, and 2004. They're fleeing. They're running. Here's a grandmother. Look at this one. 1995, we've got a grandmother that's being killed by Samson. 3,000 people more recorded deaths than on 9/11. They said in this article that the illustrators throughout these years had to make these decisions not to show slaughter, not to show massacres, and to kind of illustrate. And they had issues, of course, how much room they would be allowed to do their Bible illustrations in these Bible stories, or even Bibles themselves. And so, sure, some of this could be the massive amount of the people who died could be cut out. I mean, if you really wanted to depict this, you would have to show 3,000 people like this, wiped out, along with Samson. And so we sit people down. We say, let's disciple you. We got to get you through the Old Testament. Now let's talk about these stories, the conquest of Jericho. Go around the city, wipe everybody out. We got to talk about 1 Samuel chapter 15. Go in there, Mr. Saul, says Samuel, and you go and kill everybody, and you kill all the kids, and you kill all the infants, and you kill all the women, and make sure nothing's left. This is the Bible instructions. I believe in the Word of God. Every single word of it is inspired. Oh. Well, once again, what happened to the little lad? I mean, hey, come on, boy. I'm going, is it you leading me or I leading you as a sheep to the slaughter? You're going to die here. What happened to the boy? So what we have in this Bible story is, here's a 1978 illustration. The little boy is leading Samson up to do this suicide. We got the boy quite frightened here in 1964, looking up at Samson when the walls start collapsing on the poor child. 1961, this kid is dead for sure. This guy's getting wiped out here by Samson, along, of course, with all the other people. 1893, well, how are we going to... Oh, he's just such a man of God. Look at this. Please, Lord, let me die here with these Palestinians, and let me commit suicide, and let me kill the enemies of the Lord, so that I might accomplish more in my death in all the days of my life, and that more people would die in this one event, in this one suicide of mass destruction, than in all people I killed my whole lifetime. There's the boy trying to flee. Sometimes they got him trying to get out of there. Maybe he made it. They don't know how to do this, but other times, nope. They pretty well show you didn't make it.
Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life.
So these Bible stories can get into people. You read them, you memorize them all your life, and here you are now in this situation in which you hear of a suicide in which a man took not only his own life, the life of many others. This is why Jesus said, you have heard it said of old time, an eye for an eye, but I say unto you, love your enemy, pray for those that persecute you and despitefully use you. You see, those repetitious, but I say unto you, are contradictions to what is said here in this Old Testament. Because there is no way that Jesus, who said, suffer the little children to come unto me, would initiate, order, endorse, orchestrate the death of men, women, and children in a collective punishment to wipe them off the face of the earth. Jesus said, you do not know what spirit you are of. No, I don't want to come and call fire down and consume them. You do not know what spirit you are of. That is not what I'm about. It's the thief that comes to steal and kill and destroy, not myself. I've come to not retaliate in a violent way to the people who put me on the cross. I've come to do something different than the religions that teach people to kill one another. No, you do not go in and kill men, women, and children. What Hamas did to Israel was wrong. But we cannot retaliate in such a way in which we do the wrong.
Now go and attack the Amalekites and devote to destruction all that belongs to them. Do not spare them, but put to death men and women, children and infants, oxen and sheep, camels and donkeys.
You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible, and we do remember, and we are fighting our brave troops and combatants who are now in Gaza or around Gaza and in all other regions in Israel.
And you can see here they start out their church with this presentation, welcome, and then they open up with this verse about gays and what should be done if a man lies with another man. Put him to death. It's detestable. It's an abomination. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be put upon their own heads. Don't worry, it's not on you. You kill these people, it says in this scripture, Leviticus 20:13. What do you think gets in people's heads when they read these kind of things? You see, you convert someone from Islam, you bring them into the Bible, they read this and say, oh, we were right. It's okay to do this. Can you imagine this? You're training a new disciple. He has converted from Islam over to Christianity. You're now taking him through the Old Testament. He reads this verse. They are to be put to death, and he says, wow, it's okay living over there in Sharia law. It says it right here in the Old Testament. It's okay to do what we do over there, right? I mean, we have a lot of people that are trying to address this subject. Violence in the Bible. It's all over the place. And the way people go about to explain these verses in the Bible just blow me away. It really does. It's just unbelievable.